Hey, I'm Teddy Hicks, and I want to take a second to remind you that self-discipline is not always the right move. Okay, I know we think it's really important and that we love to beat ourselves up with it, right? Like if I could just work harder or white knuckle my way through this, then I could be successful. It's like diet mentality times 1,000. You just have to force yourself to do the things that you want to do, right? To accomplish your goals. And that means like forcing yourself to get up and get out of bed every morning and work out, and force yourself to stop eating cookies, and force yourself to do all of these things you're trying to do. But our brains are extremely rebellious. It's not necessarily always the right move, because as soon as you tell yourself that you have to always do something, your brain immediately starts looking for a way out of that. And as soon as you tell yourself that you can never do something, your brain immediately starts to look for an escape hatch. That's just the way we're wired, right? It does not work to say, I'm going to be able to stick with this specific thing every day for the rest of my life, or I'm never going to do this thing that I really enjoy or really want ever again. Because we rebel to that kind of rigidity. We just do. So it never works to give yourself these really rigid rules about anything in your life. Self-discipline is important, right? It gets you where you want to go sometimes. Like it is the thing that can help you get up and work out when you're not feeling like it, or helps you get up and go to work when you need to because you don't have a choice. But you can't always rely on that to make your long-term goals happen, because you need flexibility, you need compassion along with discipline in order to make things be sustainable for the long term. You're not going to succeed if you think you're just going to beat yourself into submission by either always doing the things you always want to do or never doing the things you never want to do. You've got to weave in some flexibility to that and some self-compassion. I will never forget when I was getting trained years ago to be an intuitive eating counselor. I was talking to Evelyn Tribole, who is one of the authors of the original intuitive eating book. And I said, how do you know if you're succeeding at this process? Because the thing about intuitive eating is that it's inherently flexible. It's inherently subjective, right? There aren't any rules. That's the point. You're getting rid of all of the rules and learning how to tune in with your body and eat in a way that works for you. And so it's hard to measure success, right? I said, how do you know if you're doing this right, if you're being successful? And she said, as long as you're always being flexible. That is like the number one marker of success, flexibility. If you ever find yourself feeling like you're having a rule about something, if you ever find yourself feeling like you always have to do something or you can never do something, you know you're a little bit off course and you need to course correct. And I think that's true really of anything in your life, because we're just human, right? Every day is not going to be the same. We're not always going to be able to do it exactly the way we did it yesterday or exactly the way we want to do it tomorrow. We need to build in flexibility and compassion for ourselves to weather those ups and downs, because when you don't have that, when you're too rigid, any deviation from the plan feels like failure. And then you give up, right? It's guaranteed self-sabotage to have that rigid plan, because you are not going to be able to stick with it. That's not the way we operate. And you're immediately going to think that you failed when you don't stick with it. So building in flexibility, building in compassion for yourself, building in, all of these kind of caveats that, if you don't work out today, that's okay, because you can get back on the horse tomorrow. Today was not the right day for it. If you screw up and do something you didn't mean to do today, that's okay. It's a learning process. Why did that happen? What can I learn from that? You have to have that flexibility. So discipline is important. Discipline is the thing that's going to help you get where you want to go a lot of times, and you need it in your life, but you can't just have discipline. I think it's really important to remember to weave in flexibility and compassion for yourself, knowing that you are a human. You're not a robot. You're not going to be able to do it 100% of the time. So it's okay to have these little ups and downs. Progress is not going to look like this. Progress is going to look like this. And so having a way that you can monitor your success can be really helpful, so that you know that you're still moving in the right direction, even though it's not 100% an upward trajectory all the time. Just remember, discipline is important, but it's not always the right move. It's not always the answer. And you do need to couple it with flexibility and compassion for yourself, so that you can continue on the path that you've decided that you want to be on, even though things come up, even though every day is not the same, even though your brain is rebelling and going, I can't do this every day. You don't have to. You just have to do it sometimes. You just have to do it consistently over a long period of time. It's not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen in a week. So you have to learn how to make it last, make it sustainable for yourself, for your brain. Trick your brain into thinking that it's got a lot of freedom, right? That's what it wants. It wants freedom. So you cannot give it these rigid rules that are going to make it rebel and make you fail. I hope that's helpful for you today. Have a great one.